Thanks for tuning in to episode 13 of Kyle Talks. I've got a couple of videos lined up, so let's jump right in.
Excalibur's sword vanishes after 1,300 years as the sword in the stone, literally. An ancient sword known as the French version of King Arthur's legendary Excalibur has mysteriously vanished from the town where, according to local lore, it had remained lodged in a rock for 1,300 years. The Durandal sword appears to have been taken by a thief from its stone in the tiny medieval town of Rocamadour, where it was one of the town's main attractions.
I added this clip even though we've already discussed Durandal because I was very fortunate last night to get to join Timcast IRL for the live member show with Joe Kent. I was able to discuss Durandal with the panel, and it led to a very interesting thought. The last time Durandal went missing was in the late 1700s at the onset of the French Revolution. Now we know France has been in turmoil for quite some time. The farmers particularly have been in nearly open revolt. And now Durandal goes missing on the eve of the French elections. Is it possible that this is a sign of a coming revolution? Or is it possible that this is a sign that a new king will be crowned? Now, while it may be a replica that was in that cliff face, that replica was said to be put there in the 1700s, meaning it had been there for 300 years. It's no easy feat to pull a sword from stone that's been wedged in there for 300 years. It does make me wonder, is this a sign of revolution, or perhaps a new king soon to be crowned? Or is it something else, even more sinister? Let me know what you think in the comments.
This is a picture, according to some observers that are scientific in NASA's universe, shows a 1,000-mile-long alien mothership from Jupiter. A lot of observers are saying 1,000-mile-long spaceship. Or it's something that's standing still in front of Jupiter. And it's not an asteroid. It's nothing they could figure out. And some people are saying either we don't know what it is, and some people are saying it might be an alien mothership.
1,000-mile long?
1,000-mile-long mothership that's happening.
Hey, imagine walking that.
Aliens probably have hoverboards, I imagine. Why did they put the food court on the other end? Why would they not put it in the middle?
They got the bird scooters.
You know how all of our technology is nowhere near theirs, right?
Yeah.
What if like their minimal technology is like they can't reach our like toilet paper technology?
Dude, I bet you they don't know how to make fire.
That would be
That's
hilarious.
what we got on 'em. We can shoot lasers and hover. It's like, we have fire.
What is that?
Evacuate!
S'mores.
That's how we lure them in.
Yeah. What were we saying?
I have no idea, man. Alien mothership, 1,000-mile long.
I'd say that's certainly an interesting discovery. I know there was recently the discovery of those Dyson spheres, or were they angels, orbiting several planets. But to learn that there's a 1,000-foot-long object that's staying stationary, I think leads credence to the idea that it may well be some form of artificial structure. Could it be an alien mothership? There's certainly been a theme of disclosure over the last few years. Like I said previously, it seems like a slow drip, but indeed, it is dripping. And I'm wondering how much longer before that levee breaks. I'm certainly a believer in UFOs. It doesn't mean I believe every story, but I think at this point it would be crazy not to believe. There's just too much evidence coming out. Now, the question is, how much of those UFO sightings are indeed extraterrestrial, and how much of them are actually just Lockheed Martin using some of their ultra-secret tech that the recent whistleblowers from Antarctica came out and confirmed existed? Let me know what you guys think. Is this an alien mothership? Or is it some asteroid that's just moving at an imperceptibly slow rate?
When one of these mysterious metal monoliths showed up in the Congo, they set that bitch on fire because they didn't know where it came from, what it did, and they were not fixing to play with it. Let's talk about how these monoliths have popped up all over the world. I mean the entire world when I say the entire world. The first one popped up in Utah in 2020, but experts looked at it and they said it had to have been there since 2016. How do they know that? I don't know. I'm not an expert, just telling you what they said. After that Utah monolith popped up, hundreds followed. This is a map of all the monoliths that no one took credit for and mysteriously disappeared. And this one appeared in Göbekli Tepe in Turkey. They had guards watching it 24/7 until the government could get there and remove it. And yes, I know I probably said that wrong. Now, what made this monolith even more suspicious is that on each side of it, there was an engraving in a different language, and it said, "Look at the sky if you want to see the moon." Look, I really don't know what these monoliths are here for. I don't know if they're just expensive artwork that someone decided to place all over the world, or if they're aliens creating a network here on Earth. But I will tell you this right now. I compared this map to my UFO map, and it matches.
This one actually kind of gives me goosebumps. I'm not sure what to make of it. It certainly is possible that it could just be some obscure artist trying to make a name for themselves, but due to the scope and sheer volume of them, not to mention the locations that they've been placed, such as in Göbekli Tepe, that does lead me to believe that it's not just some civilian. Then the question becomes, then who? Could it be aliens? Is it possible that those are probing devices? Is it possible that those are sent in advance to prepare us for their arrival? We have certainly been seeing a lot of alien activity in the skies. We've got, like we just discussed, that mothership, not to mention those Dyson spheres. Makes me wonder if this might actually be first contact from them. Now, on the other hand, I'm suspicious of our government at all times. And I understand our government has Project Blue Book. Now, it makes me wonder if this might actually be a hoax perpetrated by the government to set the stage for them to fake an alien invasion. This is not an unheard of thing. It's certainly something that's been discussed in political channels and military channels. Now, we know Hollywood likes to give us a glimpse into the future. And this makes me think of the movie The Watchmen. If you've read the graphic novel, you get even more information. So in The Watchmen, the smartest man on Earth starts to kidnap scientists and puts them together to create this giant monstrosity of flesh from all kinds of different creatures. They wanted to make it massive, the size of a skyscraper, and they wanted to make it look very bioorganic. Now in the graphic novel, they discovered teleportation. The unfortunate side effect is they can't teleport organic matter and reassemble it on location successfully. It always dies, sometimes even explodes. So what they do is they make this giant monster, and then they teleport it right into Manhattan, and it explodes. It levels New York, takes it off the map. As a result, the entire world is convinced that there's an alien invasion, and they usher in a one-world government with world peace. This is where Rorschach has to make the decision if he's going to tell the truth or if he's going to allow the lie to perpetuate in exchange for world peace. In The Watchmen, he tells the truth. That's when his journal shows up at the end of the movie. Makes me wonder if that was what's going on here, if they're faking it in order to get us prepared for Project Bluebeam. What do you guys think, though? Are these actually aliens? Is it just some artist? Or is it our government? It's usually our government. If you guys are enjoying my content, please consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment. As this is a new channel, all of your engagement will help this channel grow and get in front of that algorithm. The more growth, the more videos I'll make. Let's get back to it.
Good morning. This message is going to be lots of fun. Because everybody wants to know what's going to happen. Everybody wants to know what's going to happen in the future. And me personally, I have no idea. I only know what Holy Ghost says is going to happen. The Holy Ghost, the most violent weapon of warfare ever. So to the fourth PSYOP folks, etc., and all of that, remember John 3:36. John 3:36. All of you need to learn John 3:36, particularly after this November. God bless.
Was anyone else as creeped out by that video as I am? There is definitely something about Steven Baldwin that disturbs me. Now, for those who don't know, Steven Baldwin was a famous Hollywood actor in films such as The Flintstones or The Usual Suspects, and he was also in the movie 6, The Mark Unleashed. Now, in this movie, he plays a religious pastor who is beheaded for his beliefs because the world has been claimed by the Antichrist. After filming this movie, he left Hollywood behind completely and actually became a pastor. Now, recently he started posting very cryptic videos, all but threatening Hollywood and letting them know that something's coming their way. He also has a new show I believe he's about to launch called One Bad Movie. In this show, it's a talk show where famous actors and celebrities from Hollywood reveal the dark secrets, the stuff that wasn't supposed to come out. I'm quite excited to see it. Now, he mentions John 3:36 in this. John 3:36 says, "Whoever believes in the Son has eternal life. Whoever does not obey the Son shall not see life, but the wrath of God remains on him." Makes me wonder if someone's whispering in his ear, could it actually be the Holy Ghost? It does feel like there's a storm brewing on the horizon. We know all about Epstein Island, and we know all about Ghislaine Maxwell, and we know that many of their clients exist in Hollywood. Makes me wonder if their chickens are about to come home to roost. I gotta tell you though, this one really creeps me out. In fact, all of his videos really creep me out. But kind of like a train wreck, I just can't look away. Although he does a very good job of portraying crazy, I feel like there is an element of truth here. He knows something's coming. Could it be divine retribution? Or is he using this as a way to explain the shitstorm Hollywood's about to face when all of the actors and celebrities come out and start speaking the juicy gossip and hidden truths that we are not supposed to know about? But how does this make you feel? Is there a reckoning coming? Let me know in the comments.
How did everyone forget about the 60,000 tweets that Chrissy Teigen deleted? And these weren't just normal tweets. These are so foul that I can't even show you some of them. But I'll show you a couple that I think I can show. I want pizza. Brad Pitt just handed us pizza. I woke up this morning with pizza on my chest and ranch dressing all over me. I'm going to jail over pizza. Seeing little girls do the splits, yeah, I mean, just you could look at them on your own time, but these are just filthy. And the reason that these are all deleted is because she said that she was scared for her family because everyone on Twitter is just a bunch of idiots and she had to block over 1 million people. Fast forward a few years, now everything is all good and she's just living her best life with her 45 million Instagram followers. And I'm here to remind you that these tweets happened. This woman thought these things out and she wrote it for the whole world to see. And now everything is just good. I mean, this is what's wrong with the world. I can't be the only one that thinks this is crazy, right?
This is just one very disturbing example of what goes on behind closed doors in Hollywood. This is what happens at Epstein Island. According to the FBI, pizza is a pedophile code word for underage children trafficking. Why would Chrissy Teigen think it was a good idea to spill the beans and out herself to the entire world over and over again? We see you, Chrissy, and we know that you are indeed a monster. Now, one thing they forget to mention in this video is that Chrissy Teigen came on camera standing next to John Legend and stated that she had an orgy with the Obamas during a pizza party. Oh, John Legend did not look happy when she said that. And wouldn't you know it, right after that statement was when she went in and deleted all of her Twitter posts. I'm so disgusted I don't even actually know what to say right now. Now, I've followed that rabbit hole of Epstein Island pretty deep, and I'm going to tell you outright, Pizzagate was not a conspiracy. It was the God's honest truth. It makes my blood boil. There is something absolutely dark and demonic driving Hollywood and our political class and our business elites. This is what Steven Baldwin was telling us about. I think that their day of reckoning is coming, but I would like to know, is it going to be divine retribution, or is it going to be some military operation? I know that Q was dismissed as a pretty gnarly conspiracy, one that couldn't possibly be true. And while I'm not going to suggest that it was true, I am going to suggest that some of the rabbit holes that were uncovered by the people who did follow Q were genuine and were authentic. One such example is Isaac Cappy. Now, Cappy was a C-list Hollywood celebrity, been in a couple of films, hung out with Seth Green and some other movie stars. He came out and started to call them out for what was happening on Epstein Island. He outright said the names of those that he had witnessed doing unspeakable things to underage children. One of the names that he called out was an actor named Tom Hanks. And after he called out Tom Hanks, Cappy, who previously stated he was not suicidal, decided to take a headfirst tumble over an overpass into oncoming traffic. At the same time, Tom Hanks was posting some very cryptic tweets that did seem directly connected to Cappy. And on his most recent post, right before Cappy's suicide, his geolocation pinged that he was in the same city. Now, years ago, it did seem like a wild conspiracy theory. But as more and more came out about Epstein Island and Ghislaine Maxwell, that conspiracy theory becomes conspiracy fact. Your celebrities are not who you think they are.
The city of Pittsburgh just authorized a 4-hour daily purge. Like, if you live in Pittsburgh, I hope you got a firearm. And if you don't, go fucking buy one and get a lot of ammo, because you're gonna need it. Because between the hours of 3 a.m. and 7 a.m., your 911 calls are going to voicemail. And also during that time, there is not gonna be a single fucking cop at a single fucking police station in the city of Pittsburgh. During most of the overnight shifts, there is going to be 22 police officers for the entire city. They're not going to be responding to most calls. They're no longer going to be responding to theft, harassment, criminal mischief, and the worst of all, they will not be responding to burglary alarms. The police will not be responding to your house being burglarized. Who the fuck thought this was going to be a good idea? Who the fuck thought that in the middle of the night you only need 22 police officers for the whole fucking city? Who thought sending 911 calls to voicemail for 4 hours a day was a good idea? Y'all are literally about to have a 4-hour purge every fucking day. Your city is going to get torn apart. Seriously, citizens of Pittsburgh, buy firearms. Lots of firearms. Because the police there aren't going to protect you anymore.
So I added this clip mostly as a public service announcement. I live about an hour and a half away from Pittsburgh, far enough away that I don't expect to be impacted by this. But for anyone watching that is in the Pittsburgh area, please stay strapped. Please lock your doors at night. Don't even go out at night right now. Wait until this insanity starts to blow over, and I will pray for your safety.
What you're about to see is possibly the most compelling evidence of paranormal activity ever captured, and it all comes from the Watts family home. As the canine unit arrives on scene, multiple events are captured by the officer's body cam. This is a warning. The footage you're about to see may disturb you. As officers enter the home, the faint apparitions of small children can be seen briefly appearing above the staircase. As they continue sweeping the house, the officers capture something on camera that neither of them can explain, and they both hear it in real time.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yes.
Oh my gosh. What in the world was that?
Wow.
Go in there and step on that little blue thing and see if that's where that noise came.
Yeah, it sounded like a kid toy.
It might. It sort of sounds like it.
Something. I heard it.
That one, did you hear it?
I did.
Sounded like a kid giggling or something, didn't it? Or a kid.
It did.
Definitely scent coming out of there.
Yeah.
And most disturbing EVP captured According to many online, if it weren't for this being an official investigation, they would have no choice to believe that this was fake. What's even more shocking is that these are not the only EVPs captured in the 1 hour long video. About a month after Chris confesses to what he did and is arrested, police receive a call from a neighbor claiming to have seen a woman walking around the Watts home. As police arrive on scene, the garage light is on and the following events are captured.
Frederick Police Department, anybody in the house? 974, take on traffic, Frederick Police Department, anybody in the house, make yourself known. Frederick Police Department, anybody in the house?
Clear.
And finally, one last apparition is seen on tape. The silhouette of a small child can be seen once again standing above the staircase just behind the officer. The body cam footage documenting the aftermath of August 13th, 2018 captures a haunting reflection of the Watts family tragedy, compelling skeptics of the paranormal to reconsider, leaving all viewers with the belief that the souls of these 3 victims have yet to find peace. What do you believe?
What just arrived is amazing, and I'm gonna go live when Chris gets here because he'll kill me if I tried these without him. Chris should be here any minute.
Oh, wow. So good.
Ooh, that was a scary one. So, changing gears here to get away from the conspiracy and pop over to the realm of the paranormal, I'm going to say I 100% believe this video. I'm sorry, but there's just no denying police body camera footage. They're not faking that. They're not editing that. Those are genuine reactions from first responders who are investigating post-crime. Now, for those who don't know, Chris Watts brutally unalived his beautiful family for no apparent reason. Now, he's serving a life sentence in prison, but I saw an article where he had claimed that he is being haunted by his family in prison. Now, by all accounts, this looked like a normal family and a normal guy. What could make someone snap and do something so heinous? Could it be demonic possession? Could it be the house itself? This makes me think of the Amityville horror case. Very famous one, we all know about it. Beautiful family moves into a house. The house itself is evil, causes the man to snap, unalive his family in a very unthinkable way. Makes me wonder if that's exactly what happened here. I'll tell you this, if I didn't already believe in the paranormal, this video would have absolutely convinced me. Absolutely. Now, I gotta tell you, I think this is absolutely the best case, the best evidence that I have ever seen of the afterlife or folks who didn't quite make it there. But what do you guys think? Is this one for real? I'm gonna say I do think it is. But we're gonna go ahead and close today's video on that note. I know this one got a little bit darker, but some of these topics do get dark, and I appreciate you guys bearing with me. Now, as always, take it with a grain of salt. We can only speculate, we don't actually know, and I do have a habit of saying things in such a way that makes it seem like I am absolutely certain. And that is a disservice, I have to admit to you guys. However, after a lifetime of researching this stuff, I mean, my eyes opened on September 11th, 2001, and since then I have been down every rabbit hole you could think of. So there are some things that I do feel very confident in saying are true and not just a speculation. At the same time, please always keep a skeptical mind. Believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. But thank you for joining me today. I know this was a longer video today. As always, if you like what you see, please remember to hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment. It's also helpful to share this video as it assists us in getting ahead of that algorithm. And the more engagement from you guys, the more posts I'll continue to make. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.